Greetings and welcome to another Deckard Games YouTube thing. Recently I've been on a personal vacation to Rome, and aside from visiting the local landmarks, I always like to bring some game related memorabilia. So I visited some shops in Rome. I've also taken the advice from my good friend Johnny Retro and visited a video game related museum called VIGAMUS. I think that's how it pronounces in Italian. So I recorded some footage. I'm also going to show you some pickups that I did, so let's take a look. So as I've stated, I've been on a one-week vacation to Rome, and aside from visiting the local landmarks, I visited some local video game shops like GameStop, and one shop that said Blockbuster, which was a surprise. And I also visited a video game museum taking the advice from my good friend Johnny Retro. So, what did I pick in Rome? A few games and let's start with PlayStation Vita. I picked up Velocity 2X, a cool action platformer that transforms into a shooter, an action-packed game for the PlayStation Vita. I already owned Velocity 2X on the PlayStation 4. Now I can play it on the go with the PlayStation Vita. This was a game that I was looking for a while. I've been procuring for a while, and now that I have it in my collection. So yeah, it's a cool game. Velocity 2X, an indie title, a very cool game on the PlayStation Vita. And the second game that I picked also on the PlayStation Vita, Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits. I don't know the genre of this game. I've heard good things about it. It uses the capabilities of the PlayStation Vita, the tilt capabilities, and others. And again, I've heard good things about this game. I haven't had the chance to play it yet, but I think I will enjoy it. So, Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits on the PlayStation Vita from Rome. Now, while visiting that local store that had Blockbuster at the entrance, they had a section of used video games, and I bought for the Nintendo Wii Metroid Other M. Not much to say about the Metroid franchise. This is another entry on that same franchise. On the Nintendo Wii. I was missing this game. Now I have it. I think I have the complete set of the Metroid series on the Wii now. So yeah, it was a used game, a second-hand game that I bought on that store. Metroid Other M on the Wii. Now on that same store, on that Blockbuster kind of store, I picked a couple of PlayStation 4 games. The first one, another second-hand or used game, Tales from the Borderlands, a Telltale game series. I never heard of this game on the PlayStation 4. I'm a fan of the Telltale series games, but I didn't know the Borderlands games existed in this format. So once I saw it, I had to pick it up. It was a very cheap game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I think I'm gonna like it. So, Tales from the Borderlands on the PlayStation 4, one of my pickups in Rome. And finally, but most certainly not least, I picked up another game on that same store. This one, a new game, that being Sonic Mania Plus. And this was in Rome. So here you have the back cover in Italian, and the booklet is also in Italian. Not much to say about Sonic Mania Plus. It's a return of the classic 2D Sonic, this time on the PlayStation 4. You had the chance to play it, but you could only download it in a digital version, which was kind of weird because they released the collector's edition that instead of coming with a physical release of the game, came with the code. That's one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen. So, physical release of Sonic Mania in Italian. The game is in English. The cover and the manual is in Italian. So, another pickup that I did while on vacation on Rome. So while in Rome, I also visited a video game related museum called VIGAMUS. They had lots and lots of cool stuff that I already knew, stuff that I never seen in my life. I recorded some footage. The quality is not the best because while on vacation my phone decided to crap out, so I had to use a secondary phone, an old Samsung Galaxy S2 or something like that. But still, I recorded some footage to share with you, so let's take a look. So here I am rocking my Sonic t-shirt in Rome, a t-shirt in which I got a couple of compliments in the museum, and this is the entrance to the museum itself, VIGAMUS. I think that's how it's pronounced in Italian. And we start with the granddaddies of video gaming, with Intellivision, and to the right to the Atari stuff, the mythical 2600 or Atari VCS. At the bottom, the Atari Jaguar. I wonder if we will ever see an Atari box there, or the new Atari VCS as they like to call it now. Some vintage stuff, some action figures from Neo Geo, a very expensive system to collect nowadays. Very cool stuff, and some arcade cabinets, some Neo Geo arcade cabinets that were free to play, so you can experiment with some real arcade cabinets. This is their conference room. Now some big box stuff. I love my big box cases. Some Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, an amazing game there. More big box stuff. Monkey Island on the left and right. Here we go. Escape from Monkey Island. Blade Runner. The Curse of Monkey Island. You gotta love these big box cases. Phantasmagoria 2, First Phantasmagoria, Gabriel Knight, Beast Within, and an amazing box, The Dig, from LucasArts. More big box stuff. Some collectibles and rare items on the Commodore. Some Infocom releases. And the Virtual Boy. Yes, the infamous Virtual Boy that never came out in Europe, but here it is on the museum. Some games for the Virtual Boy. The Vectrex. Now some Pong machines. These were all over the place in the 70s. More Pong. And more Commodore items. The Commodore was huge in Europe, so it's natural to find Commodore stuff in a museum. And now we go to the ZX Spectrum with various models on display and some games on cassettes. Some history on the wall, and now Sega Master System on top. Sega Master System Model 2, the mythical Mega Drive as it's called in Europe, Sega Saturn and the Game Gear, and the Dreamcast on the bottom. Again, some Commodore. Microcomputers were a big deal in Europe. Big box of Lemmings for the Commodore Amiga. Beautiful Monkey Island big box. Cannon Fodder, another classic. This I've never seen in my life, a microcomputer from Sony. This was the first time, and a portable testing tool for the PSP, and the hit 8-bit series from Sony. I've never seen one of these. This is the PlayStation, where what we all know, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Entertainment System, the European version, the Super Nintendo, the N64, the GameCube with some limited edition, and that red NPDP reader, and the Nintendo Wii. Now the Microsoft stuff. Here we have the Halo version of the original Xbox. Another crystal clear Xbox proper. Some Nintendo handhelds, the Nintendo Game & Watch, Game Boy Color in its multicolor versions, the carrying case, Tiger Electronics, you can't go wrong with the Tiger Electronics handheld, Game Boy Advance, Advance SP, some Atari releases, Ghostbusters Dedicated, some more Atari, some more vintage video game stuff. Now Hall Namco, lots of Pac-Man here on different platforms. Here is a room where you can experiment with various consoles, various systems, PlayStation. Here we have the Nintendo Mini, Master System, Commodore, the Super Nintendo, the N64, GameCube, and it goes on and on. It's all free, you can sit down and enjoy a few games. And here we have an area all dedicated to E.T. and the landfill of Atari. All things with certificates on it, as you can see in the background, with some dirt, some items that were digged up at the Atari landfill in New Mexico. The story of Atari. This was quite big, this area dedicated to Atari. Lots of boxes that were recovered. Everything certificate. It was pretty cool to see stuff like this that makes part of gaming history. More Atari stuff on the history of the company and the supposed video game crash that led to the Atari landfill. Some arcade cabinets. Here you can play the original E.T., some Qbert, classics. Now some horror items with Silent Hill, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil. Now Metal Gear Solid franchise on the PlayStation, some Half-Life, another classic. Mario games on the original NES, some Zelda. Mario on the Atari, yes. more Mario on the E on the 25th anniversary, more Zelda, a few random stuff from Nintendo, spot dedicated to Monster Hunter and The Witcher, more arcade cabinets that you can enjoy, that you can play and experiment with, some handhelds, and to the right is a Nintendo Switch. Here it is. So you can do some modern gaming also, some PS4, an arcade top, Assassin's Creed figures, and this set on the middle really caught my eye, with this Logitech racing wheel and this huge monitor and racing seat. And now just a final quick look at the main corridor of the museum, and that's it. So if you're ever in Rome and you enjoy video games, you won't regret visiting this video game museum, VIGAMUS. So I'll leave you with this final walk through the main corridor of the museum. And that's it. These are the pickups that I did while on vacation in Rome. I always like to bring some video game related memorabilia from the places that I visit. And this was the footage that I was able to capture while visiting the museum. So if you're ever in Rome, don't miss the opportunity to visit that video game museum. You can also visit some local video game stores. As long as you're there, subscribe to the channel. That way I'll be able to make more videos in the future, because I'll know you like it. And click that bell icon to receive notifications every time a new video comes up. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of these games that I got in Rome. Let me know if you ever visited that video game museum. If you plan to, I'll see you in the comment section below. And until my next video, take care. And if you like seeing videos like this, I have many more on my channel, so please check it out. Here are some suggestions for you, so you can do some clicky things. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.